And a very happy Jimmy Buffett Friday to you at 12:08 in the West. Talk Radio 790 KABC, the John Phillips Show, broadcasting live from the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa Living Room Studios, where it doesn't have to be Friday for you to have a good time, but it is. Mr. Randy Wags at the sports desk across the glass.
John, as you know, if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Friday, the LA City Council is having one of their meetings, which is mostly public comment, full of many different types of gadflies. Some of them are so offensive we can't play them on the air. A lot of them go after Kevin De Leon. But lately there's been this guy that comes because he wants to go off on crime and he wants to defend people like Kevin De Leon. And I'd like to play you a little of his rant.
Did he swear?
He did not. This guy was well-spoken, but he was loud.
There's a first for everything.
For my general public comment, I am here to voice my support for Kevin De Leon, Nuri Martinez, Gil Cedillo, and most important, the LAPD. What I see on KTLA that people's in the train station, I see there's a homeless man did a penetration move, attack a woman, and then somehow the district attorney refused to prosecute. So right now I realize that the city of Los Angeles always reward the criminals, always free the criminals, but they always put the handcuff on the LAPD that restrict or prevent LAPD to doing the real police work, because LA City always continue to protect those politically correct woke criminals. That has to stop. At the same time, what I see that Kevin De Leon, Nuri Martinez said one word wrong. Everybody trying to cancel them, but they forgot Kevin De Leon, Nuri Martinez, Gil Cedillo did 1 million things for the city. I appreciate Kevin De Leon, Nuri Martinez.
Your time has expired. Next speaker.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It is hot as hell.
Now, since Kevin De Leon's name was invoked by that public speaker, you know what time it is, right, Johnny?
It's time for the pledge.
Madam President, today is Tuesday and time for the flag salute.
Mr. De Leon, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning?
Thank you very much, Madam President. It'd be an honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Indivisible, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What a great way to start off a Jimmy Buffett Friday.
Quite frankly.
And not just any Jimmy Buffett Friday, Randy. Today is a special one.
That's right. Right before he passed away, Jimmy Buffett was working on a brand new album, and that album has officially released today. It's called Equal Strain on All Parts, and we'll be featuring tracks from that album all day on Jimmy Buffett Friday.
I, for one, cannot wait.
One last final gift from the Chief Parrot Head himself.
800-222-KABC is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Since we live in an insane asylum and we elected the village idiot to be district attorney and the other village idiot to be the public health director, we thought it would be a good idea to start off today's show with a potpourri of crime stories. So, Randy, let's open up the KABC Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And the first story on our radar today is a follow-up to a story we did yesterday about Chester the molester in Norwalk.
That's right. The creepy guy who has had his truck parked outside of elementary schools and places where young children convene with a laptop and a blanket and doing God knows what under the blanket.
Doing the most with his hands.
Was not picked up by police, was not gone after by local officials or school officials, and because nobody who's in charge would do anything about the creep who is stalking children, parents took it into their own hands, and it got very uncomfortable in Norwalk.
And this is exactly what we predicted. If the system fails to act, vigilantes will take over. because people simply will not put up with this kind of behavior from their right-hand man.
So we're going to hear what happened in this story. I don't think it's included in this version of the story, but Johnny, I think we just found out this guy, the creepy-ass guy who says it's his right because he's like Rosa Parks to stare at and record small children, his home got quite the vandalism operation on it.
I saw that. It was almost artistic.
A lot of people spray painting the word pedo on it. Again, this all could have been prevented if the officials of Norwalk would let law enforcement do their job.
Well, they should have done their job, but I'm happy that the house got tagged anyway.
Yes. So let's find out what happened when the parents confronted the creepy guy in Norwalk from Fox 11.
And Christine, that is exactly why we have not identified this man, because he has not been charged with any crime
yet.
But people in the community have posted his photo and information on social media, and today things got really heated.
Yeah, see, there are certain journalistic standards that Fox 11 has to go by that we have to go by, but Nextdoor does not have that.
No, this is one of these few instances where Nextdoor really works out.
So what you doing here? You like taking pictures of kids?
Go get them.
I mean, this part of town, Norwalk, Whittier, they don't put up with this crap.
No, not at all.
You like taking pictures of kids?
Community activists confront the man accused by Norwalk parents of taking photos of children outside of an elementary school and park.
You need help now, huh?
Shortly after the man makes a phone call, multiple LA County Sheriff's deputies arrive. They put him in handcuffs and take him away.
Okay, the parents in Norwalk are amazing.
Oh, my God, I love them.
Fortunately, he didn't actually get arrested.
But he's not going to jail. He is escorted back home for his safety.
We are not doing anything wrong. We're bringing awareness to this neighborhood.
This individual,
he wants to make the kids uncomfortable, then the parents are well within their right to make him as uncomfortable as hell, so he won't be doing the things that we know he's doing under the blanket while staring and recording the children.
Doing the most with his hands.
his actions led to this.
Retired LAPD Detective Moses Castillo is helping some of the parents with exposure in this case. After
that may be the wrong word.
I think exposure is the problem.
After those frustrated parents tried unsuccessfully to get public safety and law enforcement to stop the man from allegedly taking photos and videos of their children.
All he had to do was stop, but yesterday when we went with him, he actually told us he wasn't going to stop him. He was going to continue to go to the park.
It's so creepy.
Well, in George Gascon's Los Angeles, let me tell you, the word is out to all the criminals. It is free reign to do whatever it is that you want. There is no such thing as consequences for bad behavior. And they not only feel that like it's lawful, they feel entitled.
It's not a coincidence that in the span of 10 days, we had the woman that sexually assaulted the woman in Long Beach. You have this creepy guy in Norwalk, and you have a different creepy guy in Long Beach that's pressing his thing up against the window of a nail salon.
That's not a finger.
I'm not doing anything wrong, and I have the full right to be there.
Fox 11 News is not identifying the man because he has not been charged with any crime.
You know Gina wants to, though.
Oh, absolutely.
He tells us the allegations against him are false. But we have learned LA County Sheriff's deputies are going to be speaking with this student.
Has he taken pictures of you?
Yeah. The 13-year-old girl tells us she has seen the man do more than just take photos.
Witnessed him masturbating.
Oh, boy.
Okay. It's days like today, I really wish Jillian was still at Fox 11 because the Fox 11 policy would be to not reveal the man's name. She would be sitting at the weather desk watching this report. Someone would tweet her the man's name, and she would absolutely read it out on the air.
I think you're right about that. But hey, we're going to have a witness now and a police report. So maybe we can take this seriously now.
No, you still have to rely on Gascon to do something with it.
He's masturbated to kids.
The Norwalk La Mirada Unified School.
That kid shouldn't even know what that word means.
No, but when you have a creep outside the school doing that on a daily basis, they're aware of it.
Doing the most with these hands.
The Norwalk La Mirada Unified School District issued a statement that says in part, the Public Safety Department, along with the Sheriff's Department, have investigated the behavior of this individual, with department stating that this individual has not broken any laws.
How hard did you really investigate?
It's because they know if they turn it over to George Gascon, it's just going to go straight to the trash. This is the problem with Gascon. It's not just the bad decisions that he makes with the cases that are handed to him. It's the fact that the cops know that they don't even need to pursue it, because if they pursue it, all of their work is going to go to hell.
Quite frankly,
he's a cancer.
Regarding occupying public spaces, nor have any of the claims of his behavior been corroborated.
We have a...
So what do you need? Video proof that he did that in front of children?
You have an eyewitness.
Well, this isn't surprising. There were plenty of witnesses and plenty of video of the 13-year-old girl that got beat up at McDonald's, and Gascon decided to defend the beater.
Let's just think about this logically for a second. Deductive reasoning, they call it. This guy is sitting out in front of a school in a van taking pictures of children. He's acknowledged this and has compared himself to Rosa Parks.
And Cesar Chavez.
We have multiple eyewitnesses, both children and adults. We have multiple calls into the police station. The police are aware that this is going on. I guess the dispute is as to whether or not he was pleasuring himself while looking at the kids.
What's the blanket for?
Yes, it's summer, or it was summer until very recently. It's still hot outside. Who is sitting in a car that's turned off with a blanket over them in Southern California in August, September, the first part of October? Nobody.
And specifically in front of children at places where children convene constantly, every single day. This is his day job.
That's right. Little old ladies, people who are in their 90s, they're constantly cold. They constantly are wearing sweaters. They're constantly putting blankets on them. I understand that. Frequently, it's related to some kind of medical condition. This is not a medical condition, and he's not cold. He brings the blanket out there to hide what he's doing, and we all know what he's doing.
Doing the most with these hands.
Exactly.
Nor have any of the claims of his behavior been corroborated.
We have a lack of action by our school officials to protect our students.
Norwalk community leader Joseph Treviso says the district has known about the situation for months.
This is why you got to go to the news immediately.
Yeah. The school district will do nothing. The police will do nothing. The district attorney will do nothing. You have to go to the cops so the vigilante justice happens.
But only now issued a statement to parents.
I condemn the actions of this man, and I condemn the actions of the district for not keeping our parents informed. It needs to stop, and it has to stop now.
Again, that man has not been charged with any crime, and he is not listed on any sex offender registry. Reporting from Norwalk, I'm Gina Silva. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
So I read somewhere that the home that got tagged where he lives doesn't even belong to him, that he lives with his parents.
Oh, boy. Well, if they raised that, then I don't feel bad for them.
Surprise! You just got back from your cruise? You think your son's been watching the dogs and tending to the garden? Guess what? You got a new paint job. Not Sherwin-Williams. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, this is the last show of the week for us, but that doesn't mean you can't listen to us.
That's right, because of the magic of the internet. Go to KABC.com, click on podcast, go to the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify, search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes that way. Easier way, get the KABC app, search KABC AM in the Apple App Store, the Android Store, and it's the best way to listen live to this station whenever and wherever you are. If you're outside of the AM radio signal, like let's say you're up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and you can download all of the podcasts of this show. Going back 3.5 years. You can listen to them all day. You can listen to them as you're going to sleep.
And then we went to sleep.
And coming up later on in the month, we're going on the road.
That's right. Save the date. 2 weeks from today, actually, Friday, November 17th, John and I will be broadcasting at the brand new Gelson's West LA at West Edge on the corner of Olympic and Bundy. The Gelson's West LA at West Edge is open now. I was there the other day. This beer, wine, and sushi bar that we're going to be broadcasting from is absolutely gorgeous. The whole entire market is gorgeous. You've got to check it out. And you will, because we're all going to be there celebrating Friday, November 17th from noon to 3 at the Gelson's West LA at West Edge.
In the meantime, what do you say we make a couple of listeners very happy?
790 KABC welcomes Richard Mark Solo and KT Tunstall at the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts on November 12th. Tickets are on sale now at CerritosCenter.com, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts. Good luck dialing.
Coming up next, the KABC Crime Blotter continues. And since we're doing a potpourri of crime stories, Randy, let's reopen the KABC Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And Randy, the next one is really more of an update on all the chaos going on right now in the city of Long Beach.
Residents in downtown Long Beach are fed up, they're irritated, and they're especially pissed off not just at George Gascon, but at Mayor Rex Richardson, who doesn't seem to be doing anything about the growing crime problem in what is supposed to be a beautiful city.
Let's have more details on this with Fox 11.
Yeah, good morning. In fact, the mayor is so concerned that yesterday he tweeted out that he'd be giving details of a safety actions that are already in place, and he said he'd be giving further details on...
You mean like more lighting so we can get better lit people that are assaulting people in broad daylight?
These crimes didn't happen at 3 in the morning. You can have all of the cameras you want. It was on camera, by the way, the sexual assault. You can have all the lights you want. The lighting was fine in the video. I mean, I don't know if Steven Spielberg could do anything with it, but you could identify what was going on tape with what you were watching. They want to do everything that's a placebo that has nothing to do with putting bad guys who break the law in prison.
What the city is doing next week, but we already know what some of those steps are. In fact, we just got a memo from the city of Long Beach saying that the police department is reallocating some of its bike safety officers and what they call quality of life officers. And they also say they're going
Wait a minute. Quality of life officers? Is that the new term that we're using?
Well, they realized people don't like the term ambassadors.
So what? If you stand there and watch someone pleasure themselves in front of a nail salon, that's a quality of life officer?
Well, if it's quality of life, maybe he'll hand the guy a hanky.
Quality of life for who?
And they also say they're going to increase their presence in certain neighborhoods. And
oh, yeah, but of armed officers or quality of life guys on bikes?
No, here's what you need. When someone tries to sexually assault a woman in broad daylight, you don't need lights. You don't need cameras. You don't need public safety officers or quality of life officers. You don't need ambassadors. What you need a couple of cops with billy clubs who will go treat that guy like a piñata.
Downtown Long Beach being one of them, and here's why they're so concerned. They want to prevent incidents like this one. This was actually filmed on Wednesday. A homeless man committed a lewd act in front of Salon 500 in the downtown area of Long Beach.
By the way, that's the same salon where Rebecca Peterson, the woman that got assaulted on the street, works.
Yeah, their luck is not turning up roses right now.
The owner of the salon says they banged on the windows, they yelled at him, tried to get him to leave.
And that only got him more excited.
This is what flashers do. They love the thrill of being caught doing this. Banging on the window won't stop them. You have to throw the cuffs on them, A, so they don't have access to their hands, and B, so you can take them to jail.
But he stayed until police arrived at the business on the 500 block of Broadway. And she is frustrated. She says that it took an hour for police to respond.
An hour and a half for the Long Beach police to respond to a man actively doing you-know-what in their store window on Broadway in broad daylight.
And he stuck around for an hour and a half.
To their 911 call and show up at the business. And she says enough is enough. City leaders need to act.
So in the past 3 weeks, the salon has gotten robbed by a homeless. One of my employees got sexually assaulted, and now this. Like, how many people have to die? How many people have to get stabbed? How many people have to get sexually assaulted for him to actually...
I got to imagine anyone that gives the salon that business will not be voting for George Gascon in March.
No, but here's what's going to happen. Imagine if that's where you get your hair cut and you know that all of this chaos is going on there. Wouldn't it be easier for you just to switch to a different salon in Belmont Shores or Seal Beach where you don't have to put up with this?
I mean, one bad experience like that could scare customers away from an entire region for years and years and years. People don't want to see that. They want to feel safe while they're getting their hair did.
You know, put more cops out there or do what's necessary.
And take a look. This happened in October on East Broadway, the same street as the salon. A homeless man walked up to a woman in broad daylight and lifted up her skirt. You can see that other people were nearby. The woman has said she was terrified of what might have happened if others hadn't been there. Now, back out here live, in addition to the increased presence that I mentioned at the top of my report, city leaders also say that police are going to increase enforcement of existing laws like trespassing and illegal.
Oh, that's going to be a problem because George Gascon refused to file those.
Okay. Trespassing is something they're going to crack down on, but they won't crack down on sexual assault.
Increase enforcement of existing laws like trespassing and illegal use of substances. And city leaders say that they have also asked staff to come up with a very comprehensive plan and then report back to the city council. And
it is not rocket science. You don't need to have comprehensive plans or get to the root causes or do any of that. You don't need quality of life officers. When someone exposes themselves to someone who's not interested in looking at it in a public place, you take them to jail. It is not complicated. You don't need a degree in criminal justice to realize that.
A lot of the business community here watching very closely to see what actions are taken and if they'll be effective. We'll keep you posted. Live in Long Beach, I'm Christy Fajardo. Listening back to you.
Does not sound like Rex Richardson, the new mayor of Long Beach, is taking this seriously at all.
No, he seems like just as big of an idiot as the last mayor of Long Beach who just endorsed George Gascon.
Robert Garcia, the congressman from Long Beach. If you happen to be a constituent in Long Beach and Robert Garcia is your congressman, maybe you would like to ask him if he actually, why he is endorsing George Gascon.
If you live in Long Beach, right now it is ground zero on the fight against the anarchists. If you're a constituent of theirs, do exactly what Randy did. Call Robert Garcia's office. Tell him what a hellhole Long Beach has turned into on his watch and his enabling of George Gascon and the policies that have caused Long Beach to end up the way it has is ruining your life. Give him a call and let him hear an earful of your.
Well, not only that, because we're coming up to an election year and members of the House of Representatives are up for election every 2 years. The filing deadline, I think, is December 7th. Somebody in Long Beach might want to think about running against Robert Garcia.
That's right. And same thing with the mayor, Rex Richardson. If you live in Long Beach, call his office and blow up their phones. Let them know that you're not happy about any of this and that their stupid decisions are the decisions that made this possible. Give them a call. Ruin their Friday. Let their staff know that you're not happy. If they get more than 7 calls, this is the rule. If they get more than 7 calls on a topic, they notify the elected because then it's on their radar. Anything below 7, it doesn't matter. Above 7, it matters, and it's on their radar. Let them know. Let them hear from you. Because if you just stew in your own juices, that's not going to help anything. But if you call their offices, they may not change what they're doing at all, but they know the natives are restless. And by the way, for him to get in Congress, you know what they did? Because California lost a congressional seat and because L.A. County lost so much population, someone had to get drawn out. So what do? They find an elderly woman who they think is going to retire anyway, and they draw them out. So it was Lucille Roybal Allard, who had been there a long time, and they figured, okay, we'll just put her in the same district as Alan Lowenthal, another oldie who'd been there a long time in Long Beach, and we'll combine that district into one. So they did that, and both of them retired, and that created an opening for Robert Garcia, who ran against that woman who was Christina from Bell. What was her name? Christina Perez. Was that it?
I'm looking it up.
She was the one that had a drinking problem. One of the ones that had a drinking problem.
Seems to be a common thread in California politics these days.
Yeah, and he was able to win that seat. But give him an earful. Let him know. Let's go to John in Encino. John, you're on KABC. Hello.
Hi, I'm just kind of getting really sick and tired of the word game these guys are playing with calling somebody an officer when it gives the impression that it's a police officer that has a weapon when they're not officers at all. It's like calling a security guard a security officer.
Yeah. Well, we live in a world where words have no meaning.
Exactly. I mean, it's at the ballot box, the same thing with all the propositions, et cetera. They reword them to scramble the meaning of them so to disguise what they're really up to.
That's right. What was Prop 47, Randy? The Public Safety and Safe Communities Act or something like that?
The Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act, John.
Oh, that's right.
Well, and the recall of the gas tax, I mean, all of these things.
You're 100% right, sir.
Yeah, the get rid of the gas tax one, I think it was Prop 6, was the Defund Roads and Bridges Act.
Exactly.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Well, listener Paul writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And he did some investigating on the creep in Norwalk who's parked outside of schools doing this while he's videotaping children.
Doing the most with his hands.
Paul has his name. Would you like me to reveal his name?
Well, I don't know. What did the Cumulus lawyers have to say about that?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
His name is Harry Palms.
From a long line of palms? Was that the original name, or did they have him change it at Ellis Island? The Fix California Hour coming up after the news at 1. But, Randy, we have one more contribution to the KABC Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And, Randy, this one involves an elected official.
That's right. It feels like I've heard a story like this before, but a current member of the California Assembly, Wendy Carrillo, who is actually running to replace Kevin De Leon in the LA City Council, got popped for a DUI, and she was blowing double the legal limit.
This is what? The third or fourth member of the state legislature that's been popped for a DUI this session.
Well, we had Dave Min, who's running to replace Katie Porter. We've had her.
Cervantes out in Riverside County.
Oh, that's right.
I think that was her second one.
It was. And now they want her to resign. The first one they'll give you a pass for. The second one, not so much. But this is also very fitting if Wendy Carrillo is running in the LA City Council 14th District, because that district for many years was represented by felon Jose Huizar, who was a drunk driver himself.
Was that before or after he allegedly sexually assaulted the masseuse at Burke Williams?
During. For a quick update, here's Fox 11.
Morning, Assemblywoman Wendy Carrillo has been arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. She was arrested last night after she allegedly crashed into a curb, hit a parked car on Monterey Road in Montecito Heights. Carrillo represents District 52, which encompasses part of Glendale and East Los Angeles. No comment yet from the Assemblywoman or her office.
And, John, it makes perfect sense to me that Wendy Carrillo has a drinking problem, because now it makes total sense why last year Wendy Carrillo, when nobody asked her to, gave Barbara Ferrer the Assembly's Woman of the Year award.
Oh, yes. That's why she's so obsessed with public health, which is exactly what you do if you're blowing a .2 and driving your car.
No, thank you.
And playing pinball with the cars that are parked on the street.
You know, if she's driving around hitting parked cars, I don't know if she can replace Kevin De Leon, but she can do morning drive in LA radio.
That's true.
Although I don't think she hit enough.
She wasn't ping-ponging?
No. We've got 2 more hours coming up on the John Phillips Show right here on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
It is hot as hell.